is now back in session. Again, the floor is given to the Deputy International Court Prosecutor to continue putting questions to this witness. You may proceed.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. We were talking about the arrest of all the CHAM members in your mobile unit. Did you ever see them thereafter, or they simply disappeared?
At that time, they disappeared.
Est-ce que vous avez également appris?
Did you also learn that other children or other youngsters, boys and girls included, were arrested in other children's units or mobile units in the same district but in other locations?
No, I did not know about that, as I was assigned to remain in one place and I could not walk freely, so I did not know whether the arrest existed elsewhere. However, from my understanding, people will be arrested at a location in various communes, although I myself did not have access to all those communes.
Est-ce que vous avez pu apprendre ce genre d'informations?
Were you able to gather such information later after 1979, or rather after 1977? Did you get to know anything subsequently regarding the arrest of other young CHAM in the district?
No, I did not.
Globalement, entre 75.
Between 1975 and 1979 in Kangmir's district, did any CHAM survive the democratic Kampuchea regime?
President, witness, please hold on, and Defense Counsel Coppert, you have the floor.
I object to this question, Mr. President. This witness is in no position whatsoever to answer that question. He can say something about CHAM members in his mobile unit, both on the commune level and the district level, but that's it. That is his knowledge, I think. And we shouldn't forget also the fact that at the time he was only 10 years old, 11 years old.
Mr. President, I'm only asking the witness to tell the chamber what he knows. I'm not asking him to speculate. So I want him to tell the chamber whether he knows of the survival of any CHAM during that period in his district. This is a very legitimate question, and the witness can tell us what he knows.
The objection by the Defense Counsel for Nuon Chea is overruled, and witness, you can respond to the last question put to you by the Deputy Co-Prosecutor if you still recall it. Witness, yes, there are two survivors, that is a husband and a wife, who actually went to hide themselves in a pond in a forest, and only after the fall of the regime I learned of their survival.
Est-ce que ces deux survivants?
Do you know what were the villages of origin of those two survivors and what their names were?
They were from a Saxo, that is in Pim Chikong commune.
Et à part ces deux survivants,
And apart from those two survivors, you didn't hear about the survival of any other persons from Kangmias district?
Yes, that is correct. After the fall of the regime, I only learned of these two survivors, that is a husband and a wife.
j'en viens maintenant alors à Wat Otrakoun.
Let us now talk of Wat Otrakoon. At the time when you were transferred to work there, you were the bodyguard of Horn at the time, and Horn was the chief of the security center. He was also head of the security at the district, as you stated earlier. Of what level was the Wat Otrakoon Pagoda a member of? Was it part of was it part of the commune, that is, or the upper level?
At that time, Otrakoon Security Center was part of the district security.
Est-ce que cette pagode se trouvait
Was that pagoda geographically close to the Kangmia's district committee office?
Yes, it was not that far. It was about 2 kilometers away from the district office.
Je ne crois pas que vous avez dit dans quel village.
I am not sure you said in which village that pagoda was. You said that it was in Pimchikang commune, but you didn't tell us the village. Can you now tell us what village it was situated in?
President, Deputy Co-Prosecutor, please repeat your last question. Actually, he responded to your question when the microphone was not yet operational.
Juste dans quel village?
My question was, in which village was the Otrakoon pagoda situated?
It was located in Sambu Ko village.
Comment se fait-il que vous avez été
How come you were chosen to work at the Wat Otrakoon pagoda? Can you tell us how you were selected for that assignment?
I did not know about the selection. I was assigned to work in a mobile unit. However, due to the lack of rice to eat, then I went to stay with the soldiers. I did not know about the details of the arrangement, and later on my unit chief was called by his elder brother that we had to be sent to stay at Otrakoon Pagoda, and I was rather shocked to learn that, because we heard that Otrakoon Pagoda was a killing site.
Quand vous êtes arrivé à la pagode d'Otrakoon,
When you arrived at the Wat Otrakoon Pagoda, at the security site where people were executed. Can you tell us whether there were other security officers older than you, security guards older than you? In other words, were you still the youngest person working there?
Yes, they were much older than me. Some of them were more than 30 years old or 40 years old, and I was the youngest member.
Y en avait-il également qui
Were there also any adolescents aged 16 to 18, for instance, and I mean the young security guards?
No, there was none. I was on a rotational basis with another guard to accompany the chief when he went for inspection at where soldiers were stationed.
Donc, si je comprends bien,
So if I understand you correctly, you accompanied Horn when he went to inspect the place where the soldiers were stationed, but you didn't do so every day, and you were accompanied by other guards.
It varied. Sometimes I remained with the soldiers while another guard accompanied him during his inspection trip. And sometimes the chief called me to go with him. However, it was at his own discretion either to call me or to call another guard to accompany him.
vous avez dit que vous étiez...
You stated that you were Horn's bodyguard. Does being a bodyguard also involve being a messenger? Did you double up as bodyguard and messenger?
Yes.
Est-ce qu'il vous est arrivé que Horn ou...
Did it happen that Horn or another cadre from the Otrakon Pagoda entrust you with envelopes or letters to be delivered within the district or other communes of the Kangmias district?
No, that never happened.
Je voudrais alors vous demander en quoi consistait...
I would like you to explain to the chamber what your role as a messenger or bodyguard consisted in. When you talk of being a messenger, that would entail transporting messengers. Did that ever happen? Or transporting messages, I beg your pardon, did that ever happen?
When you refer to a messenger during the regime, you also refer to his role as a bodyguard. Sometimes I deliver letters concerning the redeployment of soldiers from one commune to another commune. However, personally, I never delivered letters to the district.
Et qui vous confiait ces lettres?
And who gave those letters to you for delivery in certain communes? Was it your chief or other persons who gave you those letters to convey?
It was Horn who did that.
Je voudrais, pour clarifier, lire...
For purposes of clarification, I would like to read out to you what a witness said regarding you. I will not give that person's name. It is in the interview notes of the OCP E3/7827. And suffice it to say that that person was a former monk at Wat Otuakon. This is what is stated on page 3 in English, page 2 in French, and page 4 in Khmer. And I quote, "A security guard from the prison is still alive. He is a teacher. His name is Muivani. He was a messenger from the security office. He was aged 16 or 17 at the time. He teaches at the Sambo Mirs School." First point, this witness says that you were a messenger at the security office. Were you the messenger of Horn himself, or you were a messenger of the security office as well? What I mean is that you were able to deliver letters when Horn was not stationed at that particular location or in office at the time. Can you clarify this point?
Yes, that is correct. I only delivered messages when I was assigned, and at some other times I would accompany the chief when I was called to, or sometimes he would send me to soldiers at the commune level when they had to be redeployed to another station or location, and sometimes I would accompany him when he went to do that task.
Alors, ce témoin,
This witness says you were aged 16 or 17. So let me put a question to you again. You said that you were aged 11 or 12 when you were at Wat Otuakon. Does this witness, is this witness therefore wrong when he gives your age as 16 or 17?
Maybe he was confused. Maybe he only knew me, but not that well. And of course, I was rather young at the time. And I myself, I did not know this person. And maybe he identified me when I was on a motorcycle with the chief.
en même temps, je ne vous ai pas...
I haven't given you that witness's name, so it is normal that you wouldn't know very much about him. Do you know from which region of Cambodia your leader, Horn, hailed?
At that time, I did not know where he came from. However, people said he came from the southwest zone, although personally I did not know where the southwest zone was.
Est-ce qu'il vous est arrivé à cette époque
During that period, did you happen to accompany Horn during his travels outside of the Kangmias district? For instance, if he had to go and attend meetings at the level of the sector or the zone?
No, I did not.
En tant que garde du corps,
As a bodyguard, were you armed? And if yes, what weapon were you carrying?
Yes, I was given an AK rifle. And later on, because of its heavy weight, and actually when I was carrying the AK rifle, I had a swollen arm and shoulder, and for that I request to have it changed to a carbine rifle.
Et les autres gardes d'Otrakon?
How about the other guards at the Otuakon Pagoda? Were they also armed? And if yes, what type of weapons were they bearing?
Yes, they were armed. However, sometimes we swapped our rifles, and sometimes when they had to go with the chief, they would take the carbine, or sometimes when they were at the pagoda, they were armed with AK rifles.
Donc, si je comprends bien,
So, if I understand correctly, within the pagoda, everyone was armed with a shotgun or an AK weapon. Were there any long swords in the pagoda?
Yes, there were. However, another group actually bore the long swords. I myself, I did not, as usually I would go and accompany my chief.
et quand vous parlez de cet autre groupe,
And when you talk of this other long swords group, was that group based outside of the pagoda in the commune, or these members of the long sword group were stationed within the pagoda?
They were stationed within the premise of the pagoda.
pourriez-vous me dire qui était l'adjoint?
Can you tell me who was the assistant or the assistants of Horn at Wat Otuakon? In other words, who was in charge of the security guard corps when Horn wasn't there?
There was a Kuong, and later on when Kuong was executed, he was replaced by another person named Bot, and later on Bot died. So when Horn was not on the base, at the base, then Kuong would be in charge.
Je crois qu'il y a une petite confusion.
I believe there is a slight error somewhere because answer 59 in your document E319/19.3.93, this is what you stated. One night, Bot died and Kun became Han's assistant. Is it Bot who preceded Kun or the other way round?
Yes, you are correct. Bot preceded another person.
Comme vous étiez le garde du corps de Han et que
You were Han's bodyguard assigned to that pagoda. Could you move about within the Otuakon pagoda premises?
Yes, I could. However, because I was rather young, so I was rather afraid to move around within the premises of the pagoda.
vous avez dit que vous n'étiez
You stated that you were not with Horn all the time and that he traveled around sometimes with another bodyguard. When you did not have to accompany him, did you have to discharge certain duties within the Otuakon pagoda? For instance, standing guard, taking food to prisoners, helping out in the kitchen, growing vegetables, for instance. Can you clarify what your daily duties were when you did not have to accompany Horn outside of the pagoda?
No, I did not engage in any other duties. Sometimes when I was not assigned to accompany him, I would rest at the premises of the pagoda. Sometimes I stayed and chatted with the light often prisoners there. Sometimes I would pick some trees from fruits from trees grown within the premises of the pagoda.
Est-ce que vous avez
Did you have the opportunity at one point in time of entering the buildings themselves of the pagoda, and therefore to see under which conditions the prisoners were detained?
I did have a look because I was the later arrival there, so I was rather curious to see what was happening on the ground, and I would also go to greet all members of the group working in the pagoda.
Very briefly speaking, because this is not necessarily the point of today's hearing, however, can you describe to us what you saw within the building where the prisoners were detained?
I saw people were being chained, shackled in the main temple. Their ankles were shackled.
And what about the detention conditions in general, in terms of hygiene, in terms of food? Do you know how the prisoners were treated in that regard?
Yes, I knew about the treatment. They were given gruel mixed with morning glory or mixed with jam.
Was this a sufficient diet for the prisoners to remain healthy?
Actually, they were given only a coconut, half of a coconut shell full of plain gruel.
Who was Hong's direct superior at the Kang Mias district level? Do you know who was the chief of Kang Mia district?
At that time, the person was known as the district chief, and his name was Gan.
Do you know if Kang came from the southwest, just as Hong?
Yes, I heard they were the Southwest group who came to work in the area, and people also said that the district chief and the commune chiefs were all Southwest people. President, thank you, Deputy Co-Prosecutor. The time is appropriate for our lunch break. We'll take a break now and resumed at 1:30 this afternoon. Court officer, please assist the witness during the lunch break at the waiting room reserved for witnesses and civil parties, and invite him back into the courtroom at 1:30 this afternoon. Security personnel, you are instructed to take Kim to the waiting room downstairs and have him returned to attend the proceedings this afternoon before 1:30. The court is now in recess.
Dr. Cho.